Hello everyone and welcome to yet another live coding and chill. I'm your host Johnny, delighted to be here. Hope you're having an amazing Sunday to top off a wonderful week for you. We're gonna have so much fun today. Let me know what you're working on, but we will be creating a brand new app, a brand new game, multiplayer game, implemented in SvelteKit on the front end. Cloudflare workers with durable objects on the back end will be connecting with Websockets and using the hibernation mode that Cloudflare has to not get charged too much. That's what we're hoping to do. As always, you can find links in the descriptions and check out what we'll be building today. We'll see how far we'll get to the play mode today. Maybe we'll manage to do a lot. But click around yourself. I do have a visual demo I recorded yesterday before refactoring all the code and starting over for today's stream. You can see that it's going to be a card game we'll be doing. Balatro-like, not quite. There's not going to be a soap. There's not going to be like boss plans and stuff. But the inspiration for all of this is that MinnHax is happening again. We have MinnHax 2025. It's a game jam. Usually I do web dev and app dev, but let's be real, I want to be a game developer. So I'm taking these big chances to try something out quickly. Life was being life this year, so I thought that I'd be giving this one a pass. Last year we made a 2D game in Godot, but inspiration has stricken to make a relatively simple card game potentially, and maybe I can make it in Typescript, which I know better than Godot or anything else. So maybe it's gonna be simple, but not too simple, because we're gonna add multiplayer, famously one of the hardest things to get right in a quick manner. But hey, I'm here to learn as well. The idea of the game is that it's a simple game you can play even with your own deck of cards. So you get shuffled a few cards, your opponent or opponents get shuffled the same amount of cards. Each time on your turn, you have to beat the previous card that was played. And one of the differentiators, I suppose, is that you have the min or max wheel. So before you play the card, or after you play the card, you are allowed to spin the wheel, and the wheel is what defines, do you need to play something that's lower than a 7, or is it gonna be something that's needs to be something that's higher than a 7. So in this instance, the card that has been dealt is a 9. It's on min. We decide not to spin, and we can play either an 8 or a 5. And you keep going like this until you cannot actually play a card. If you cannot play a card, you lose. But also, if you make it to the max, if you take it to the max, which is the name of the game jam, then you insta-win. I'm thinking about the concept where you also have like a to the min point, and if the wheel mode is on min, then you subtract from the score, so you can go to negative values, and only if the wheel is on max, then you go then you add points and you're trying to go to the max. But in my head, both of these were insta-win conditions, and surpassing either threshold will bust you. So you insta-lose if you play a card that makes you go to like plus 47. This should have made you lose already. But hey, this is just a prototype to see, can I render some things? In the end, I would love if all of this logic is very playable in regular TypeScript with some fundamental pictures and stuff. But I would love to bring in, maybe next week, Threadle, which is very performant 3D rendering for the browser for Svelte using 3JS, which would allow me to do cooler things, especially for the wheel. I want the wheel to be fun. I want you to be able to like flick the wheel with more power or less power, and that maybe should be using some physics to see where it actually lands. I think that'd be fun. That could be a differentiator. And of course, much like Balatro, seeing your hand, like playing around a little bit, a subtle 3D effect. So all of these things make a difference. So I would love to achieve these. These are possible, but harder to do with TypeScript, I think, and regular CSS. And maybe Threadle will help us. But let's see. Let's get the basic game going. I'll get some people to try it out as well. Some of my friends, you can try it out if we manage to get it live, and you can give me feedback on the Discord or on the comments or anywhere else. For example, always everyone who is a game developer says play testing is so important, having people to go in front of your game and play it, see the reactions. Even me playing with myself, I'm seeing like, is the min-max thing like too complicated? Should it just be like the max threshold? Is having 4 cards the good amount and then you draw 1? Is it having like 5 cards maybe? If you lose on the first round, then it kind of sucks. Should the game auto-deal the first card, or should you just play a card? I don't know. And if you don't have to do an Unreal Engine build and you just have it deployed on the internet fast, then you can get feedback faster. And then, if we're done with this, if we successfully submit this for the MinnHax game jam, and people kind of like it, then we can work on transporting it to like Godot or Unreal Engine or whatnot. And then Steam, and then consoles, and then we take over the world. So hopefully you like this. Let me know what you're working on as always. And lots of opportunity to go deep into this subject. So let me know if you like it. Let me know if there's something particular related to this. But of course, we have like tons and tons of ideas that we're doing here that we can also revert back to those. I was just inspired this week. I was like, let's get it through. A cool thing, one of the cool things we'll be using today is gonna be XState for state management. And I was thinking if I could write my state logic here with XState and then have this transported into Godot or Unreal Engine, then, you know, the game is sorted, the events are played, like then it becomes a matter of having nice UI based on your game state and handling the user interactions to hook them up to the correct events. So validating the game like this and then try to make it nice in a proper engine, that's, I think, a viable option that I haven't heard people trying. So I was keen to give it a go. So big agenda for today. We've done the demo. I'll show you and talk a little bit about XState and what the benefits of this are. Then the first thing, we're gonna warm up with something that should be easy for me, where we'll be able to join a random or a specific room. So we'll be able to add in something that I think looks like a one-time password. I like this idea, thinking about it. So if you get like an invite, a friend is in the lobby and is waiting for you, you paste it in there, you go to that room, you start the game. This will be just SvelteKit UI, so it should be easy for us, we should breeze through. But then we're gonna actually connect to that lobby, see how many people are there, are they ready, and can we transition to the start the game screen. That will need a connection with a Cloudflare worker to actually set up the game. May take a while. Then we're in business with the trickier things, where we will need to actually start the game. So we'll need to spin the wheel to start with, we'll need to deal the cards, we'll need to decide whose turn it is to begin with. We'll need to decide the max threshold, because I think it's more fun if it's random. So it's not going to be if we make it to 40 or someone goes over 40, you lose. It's going to be a dynamic number. Another thing to find out with playtesting as well. Then, after we have the board set up, it's our turn. We need to play a card. How does that work? We'll make that happen. We optionally can spin the wheel. We'll make that happen. We'll be able to end our turn. Great. So the other person can play. And if we have time, we'll account for you've busted the threshold, or you made an exact match to the max. You took it to the max and you win. And so it's game over, someone won, other people lost. Do you want to rematch? Then, another fun part that I didn't mention, special cards. So not just I played a 5 and I add 5 to the tally. Maybe some cards, like the ace, you can play it as a low ace with 1 and a big ace with 11, simple. But you can add more fun things, like a jack may have the courtship effect, where you choose whether you want to find another jack or queen or king from the draw deck. And if there is one, then you absolutely draw it and you have an extra card. If not, then the jack gets heartbroken because they didn't find a date and you gain no benefit, you just play the jack. Queen could slay, pick one of your enemies' cards and just delete them, rip it apart, move it to the discard pile. And King, I don't know, maybe get 2 parts from the plate pile, not sure. And we could go full Balatro and just design like a million crazy jokers that would make things fun, more fun to play, like 2x multiplier on every card, or score is halved, which I guess is kind of the same as would have picked any other example. You can only play cards that look the same upside down, so 1s and 8s or something like that. Frank, hello, nice to see you again on the chat. Thank you for your support. So XState, let's move on to seeing how it looks and why would you even try to encapsulate the state of your game into something like XState. We have here 610 unreadable items of code that specify, okay, you start at the lobby state, you can accept this event. If this event happens, then you go there, but only if this condition is true. It's good because it's deterministic and very recreatable, so you can serialize this on the client, or rather, you can serialize this on the server and then send it to the client and rehydrate from that, and then you can reconnect more easily, for example, or ensure that people are not cheating. So very reproducible, kind of event-sourced state. But one of the cool things it has is that there are lots of plugins, or you can go to the web interface and actually visualize this state. So VS Code has this XState visual editor plugin, and then you can actually see all this crazy code you were working on. What does it mean? See it reflected. And actually, you can even play some events and see if the state is flowing as you expected. So in our case, we start at the lobby, then we have the setup step. This is going to be, I've set the random numbers for the thresholds, I've dealt the cards, whatever else. I've shuffled the cards. You can see that you can actually see them here. This is drag and droppable, and they do say that you can even edit things here and then they get changed in the code, which is like too scary. I haven't tried it yet. You can see all the events that are playing and you can try to play them at any time. We spin the wheel because it's not going to start at the right angle. I think it's fun if it gets like a demo spin there, so you know what happens. And it deals the first card for you from the draw pile. This, again, maybe it's more fun if the setup doesn't play a card from the draw pile and the first player can just play any card. Who knows? Something to think about. Then, finally, we make it into the playing state. And in the playing state, the turn starts and we await the user action. They can select a card. The card, as we mentioned, may be just a plain card like 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that has no effect. But some cards, like the ace, which can have the +10 effect or not, so play it as a 1 or as an 11, you need to choose, the user needs to choose. So the user has the configuring effect. We are in the configuring effect state, and the user needs to choose, this is how I want to play this card. For the jack, I need to pick whether I want to find a jack, queen, or king. And then we actually play that card. After we've played a card, we can either spin the wheel if we haven't already, or end our turn. If we end our turn, then we can go back to turn start, but of course now it's going to be advanced to the next player, so it's going to be the next player's turn. But also, once you play a card, we need to check, did we make an exact match and insta-win, or did we go over a threshold and insta-lose? So that's another check. If that has happened, then we are in the game over state. So you've heard me speak about the rules of the game a couple times, and you've also seen the visualization. Did it help? Did it not? Not sure. For me, it does help to see it like this. And from other people that I've talked to, they do like the node visualization aspect of this. And it's one of the things that you get with XState. Regardless of whether you like it for state management itself, I think like a huge benefit of using it is that you have the visual editor. So even if you like, I don't know, Redux or whatever else, or like vanilla state management with your own custom things with SvelteKit and stuff. That's fair enough. But the visualization that you can get with XState is an amazing feature. There is no denying that. So you could be like, oh, I don't understand all this boilerplate, the assign, the guards, it's too crazy, it's too much for me. Fair enough, you know, you like other things more. Sometimes I like other things more. But the visualization thing, I do think it's like amazingly cool. Right, so this is XState. I've written all of these things. Another thing cool with XState is that you can very easily test these scenarios, what you want to happen. When do you get from one state to the next, which means that it's easier to work with LLMs as well, because if you can define a test, you can tell the LLM, until this passes, you need to write better code. So it can help you with that. And that's something that we cannot do, sadly, with the durable objects on the backend, on the Cloudflare worker, because their testing solution only works with Vitess 3, and we're in Vitess 4. But even so, even the Vitess 3 one, it's not that good with working with durable objects, or I just have downgraded for that project and used Vitess 3. But even then, the durable objects integration they have for testing is glitchy, so it's not helping a lot. And that's a problem because you can't tell the LLM just figure it out until this test passes, because you cannot write a meaningful test. And similarly, we will have some things that we ask Playwright to check for, are we in this state or that, but the Playwright tests are much, much slower. So again, it's harder for the LLM to help you with this, because LLMs just love to autocomplete random code and say this works, and then in reality it doesn't work. But if you have a test and you need to tell it, keep running this test until it works, then it will try harder. So XState, great for telling an LLM, these are the parameters. Did we miss anything? Try to cut this case and try to fix it. So if I were to say you do not deal a card automatically in the setup phase, I would definitely tell the LLM, you know, or I'd amend the test, or I'll tell the LLM first, amend the test, we do not deal a card anymore, and then make the code refactor. I would be pretty confident, so long as I saw the test that was amended, that the LLM would be able to write better code in this thing than I would. Because at some point, after you've written 600 lines, it's like, I don't want to get back in here ever again manually. All right. I think that's it. So let's go to the easy one. Here in the play page, we want a button. Maybe just this, not join random room, because that's also hard. We need to ask the server will need to keep state of these rooms are empty or whatever. Let's create a little password system where they can paste. Your friend told you I'm waiting in room 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you paste it in there and you go to that room. Of course, if you are savvy enough, you will be able to just put in the password yourself and then make it to the playroom. But what we want is like the regular approach for the regular people, make it easy for them. Make it so here they can paste the code and play. And yes, the state visualizations with XState, they are the definition of state transition diagrams. So all the little arrow logic that you may be familiar with from other visualizations, they should apply here, like when it's like a straight arrow or when it's like a kind of curved type of situation. So this is very standard. And indeed in Unreal Engine or Godot or wherever else, if you're making like a state machine, I've seen 4 animations, for example, it looks like this. It's the standard thing. The cool thing here that doesn't exist in Godot is that it has something that you can actually easily, as a human, read and edit, while on the other things, it's more like machine, or at least minified code, so you can't manually get in there and edit it. You need to just work on the nodes. So I do appreciate looking at the nodes, but personally, I prefer going back to the code to edit it here. Right, so for this, let's see, can we write like a test? We have the multiplayer spank. let's say I can enter a code. Enter a code to join a playroom. And let's say the room ID, we can keep it the same one. Let's say it's 2, 3, 4, 5. One, two, three, Jack, King, Queen. Open this one. I don't want a new context for this one. On the other test with the multiplayer, I have two browsers because it's a multiplayer game, so I need to have like one browser open and another one to simulate two players. In the future, we may do like the bot functionality. If you're in a lobby for too long, then we find a bot for you. We don't tell you it's a bot, but the server has this bot logic and just plays it for you. So we don't need to do this. Just need to get the page from here. And we just need to go to the play page. None of these. Wait for hydration. And then the heading should be play. And then code input is correct. I think just get the label. Is join or go? Join sounds nice. Nice. And then to have URL matching. Well, it doesn't really matter. Hello, Mikey. My weekend has been very nice. It's been sunny here in Barcelona. We played a bit of volleyball. A bit cold, so I needed to layer up, but it's always fun to play when the sun is out. How was your weekend? All right, so we want all of these things to happen. None of these things will happen. Well, we won't be able to fill in the code input because it doesn't exist. That's the thing we're gonna add. And here it is. And just a regular one. And I'm going to be using the Svelte inspector more here with alt text. Just go into the code immediately. I wasn't using it that much because I was very often unable to go into the correct page that I wanted because there are so many SAT-CN components. For example, here, I want to go to the play page, but what the Svelte inspector finds is the page title, and I'm like, ugh, I need to be too precise to do this. But much like in the inspector, in the Chrome inspector, if you press up, then it goes one component up, so you can actually get out of there. And it was a skill issue on my part for not being able to do this. Amazing feature. So what we want is, yeah, let's create it here actually. Room code input.svelte. Let's paste it here. And room code input. go. Great. And what we actually want to say is, I guess we want it to be like in a field. I says, got burnt out for the first time. Oh, welcome to the club. The rite of passage. Learn Svelte map Libre. I don't know this, but I have been using Svelte maps actually for the WebSocket management. We'll see this. Don't know if it's related. Gambling websites are very in demand. I hate gambling. I hate ads. Like, and it's so sad that all the jobs are like, oh, come do this. Like, no, I'd rather not. How about we do game dev for free? What do I like more to steal from these things? Definitely want to steal or the field thingies helpers. I definitely, I'd say steal the billing address. Is the billing address like too big? Card number. Steal the card number. This one. And in here, let's put this guy. And let's say that, where's the ID? Room code, let's say this is room code. And what did you say in the test? Code. Enter your credit card to play. That's one way to make money. Enter a room code to join. Great. We could also make this regex be plain cards, regex. Oh, this is like autocomplete win. And added the 6 characters, I think, because of this. Interesting. Too much? I didn't ask for this. Is this the end of word one? Starts and ends with this. Is it just this? Have I evolved to the point where I can read regex? It feels impossible. But yeah, lowercase letters do not work. But numbers do, so that's pretty cool. But it would also be annoying to not allow for this. Just need to uppercase it. Oh, but this pattern should be a string. Interesting. So how do they make it here? Ah, I see. Okay, so they do have the starts with. They also have as many as possible. $. So it's not actually a regex. String. Okay. Making things too confusing for no reason. But let's see, do we even find this? Not quite. And I gotta wonder why. So let's go into UI mode. Can I inspect something here? I guess I could just inspect here. I thought that'd be easier. But I was wrong. This guy. So let's like this thing. Yeah, it's an input. It's get by text. Interesting. So is nothing, is this not a label in real life? Has it all been lies? This is a label, but maybe it's not getting to the input. Yeah, because the ID is on the div, but we want the ID to be on the hidden input. And let's see this guy. ID. Input ID. Makes sense. So now will it work more? Cool. Just needed to read the docs. So because of course, like if you wanted an ID for this element, what would you do? So it's a common pattern to be like, for the hidden input, we have the input ID. We got you covered. And so is there like a UUID that SvelteKit has in case this component is like many times in DOM? Who knows? We'll never know. is a helper for that. But doesn't matter. What we want now is a submit button that says join. Do we need to make this like required as well? So maybe we want to make this from code form. And we can have this be a form. Should we be using SvelteKit remote functions once again? Return and redirect? I think so. Redirect. Some quick over engineering for us. So it is a form. Let's do what? Join remote function. Blah blah blah. Do we even have Zod in this project? Zod. We have it, even though we don't use it. I was gonna ask, does anyone want to give Valibot a try? For once. So let's bring in this. This. We want this redirect, I guess, to happen. Join schema. It's gonna have the code. And I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna get the code out. And we're gonna redirect to play code. So I'm surprising myself. Like once again, after last week, we're doing SvelteKit remote functions again. Somehow, some way, it's happening again. And in our form, we'll need to spread the remote function, and we called it join room. And we can bind, I guess, the input. The input is hidden, fortunately. Whoops. But we can. The input is going to be there, so we're good to go. Let's see. Will we get the redirect? Does it just work? Did it? Well, if I had spread it to the right place, it would have. There you go. Joined, succeeded. Nailed it. And yeah, we could do like more things like the auto capitalization and all of that, but let's not sweat it too much. Cool. So this spec here. We called it join, no? Oh, I just did it on ender. So button wrong place. Maybe here? The UI things always take me so long. Yeah, it looks amazing. So we have these guys, maybe, because I don't want the description to be, all right. We maybe quicken. A bit dramatic. But sure. Maybe it looks weird. Unclear. SM, let's row. Let's call. Ah. Maybe grid better. Same size as well, and we only do it here. Not bad. So Mikey correctly says Chuba-based presence is perfect for this. Yeah, for a multiplayer game like this, very likely that Chuba-base would have been the easiest way out. But I did want to try Cloudflare Workers, which I suspect, if it works, will be cheaper as well. But Supabase is made for these things. One of the examples they have is like the cursors, the live cursors, you see collaborators cursors. So it would be great to see that, oh, this person is hovering over this card. And with Cloudflare, with WebSockets, even with Hibernation, I think that would be like 2 months. But we'll give it a try and refactor as needed. So does this look decent? Maybe. Do we need the description? Okay, so I think that's not horrible, but we need to get to the interesting stuff. That's horrible. We're somewhere. Why is it red? Ah, didn't. Oh, wait. All right. So warm-up exercise done. A lot of stuff because we did I did bring in the one-time password. This is meant to be used for one-time passwords, as in reality we're using them for room codes, which is similar enough in my eyes. Anything else we should do? Like, is there like something to make them bigger? It's flex in the items. It's one of these. Okay, as I said, I won't stress it too much. I'd make this bigger as well. It's satisfying, and in the future it can be the actual cards that they transform to the cards. But yeah, let's not overthink it. Too late. This one I don't need. What's this about? What's this about? The thing with Satsien Svelte is that every time it's like, unlike Satsien for React, it doesn't have a key to look at the icon library we're using. So every time I add in a component that has an icon, which is most of them, it's like, oh, you don't have Lucide. I'm gonna add Lucide and use Lucide. I'm like, I'm using non-plugin icons for this. Sorry, mate. Feature. Enter a code to join a specific lobby. All right, so UI stuff done. When was it? No one knows. And now let's see what happens in that page. So we are here. What happens here in the actual playroom? So in the playroom ID page, we have the game board, which I've already made bring an XState and establish the WebSocket connection, but we need to do more. We need to do a lot more. The WebSocket stuff is interesting. For some reason, it's quite easy for SvelteKit to get in a loop and flip out and try to create the same connection again and again. But what I've done is make this component keep a state of room IDs to WebSockets. Let's call it room IDs to WebSockets. And therefore, if we're not on the browser, we will not be establishing a WebSocket if we're on the server. So we have to be on the browser, and if we don't already have a WebSocket connection, only then create a WebSocket connection. And if we are in this case where we don't have a WebSocket connection, again, check this Svelte map to delete everything that's already there. So do the cleanup. Then we do the WebSocket connection to what I have here in apps API. This is the Cloudflare worker that talks to the durable object. So it has a durable objects binding in its Wrangler config. This is a monorepo like almost always. I've created this packages directory, which has the common state that I showed before. So this is where the state machine actually lives in a common package, because both the client and the server are going to use the same thing. And also my RNG package. Maybe I'll publish this to like npm. I'm sure like somebody has already created something like this. But both the server and the client use the same RNG, seeded RNG functionality. Because for the test, I will want to be able to say seed with this, and then we know that we're getting this type of deal, so we can better test that. I'm clicking, I expect the 5 of diamonds to be dealt, and I want to play the 7 of diamonds, which I know will be on my hand because it's seeded randomness. Anyway, most of these things are by the by. Lots of crazy things with establishing the WebSocket. The autofixer has suggestions that you shouldn't do any of this inside an effect, like you shouldn't be running methods, but it's just a suggestion. Like it seems like it works. So you will see that indeed we start as like connecting and then we become connected. We are really talking to the server, but we're not doing much. The first thing I want to do is so how many players are connected, because currently this is a lie. I've hard-coded this, and indeed like only one player is connected into this room. So let's start telling the truth in regards to this. How do I find the players? How do I test this is one of the questions I have. So in my multiplayer spec, I do have 2 people connect in this step. And if you do have 2 people connected, you can actually go to the play state. But I should be able to see my name. And I guess it's going to be a list item, and I don't have a name for this. So I guess it's going to be anon, you, and another person. So let's say that we can see the heading for this. Let's say list item. Player 1 you, player. Name anonymous. So let's make that happen. What is bonus expect? Made it there. And when the second player is there, I would like to find like a region that lists these things. To have like a section. And call it what? Not the studies. Get by role reason. And then maybe that's like reason 2. And we can do this again. Reason 1. And find this guy there. then we can say that now the connected players region actually has two list items. All list, like to have count. Yeah, I think it's all. And it's like we have length. Maybe not. I guess I need to await this. And I think that's it. So on the game board, when we're on the lobby, we can have a section. Will it be auto-labeled by this? Maybe yes, maybe no. We'll find out. And in here, let's just put like anonymous. You. And see if we make it that far. So yeah, it can't find the region. So we do need to do area labeled by. So maybe now it's gonna be happier. Is it? Yes. It's a list item, right? Wait a minute. Not get my text. Here I can't. Like, how do I make this less useless? Oh, playwright, you're so useful. But sometimes it's just driving me. Hello, Varun? Varun, are you following your videos for a few weeks? 6 months behind to watch this video. What's in 10 way? Well, this is live, so you're right on time actually to watch this. And it's a new app, so here we go. Don't worry, it hasn't been like months and months of trying to do the XState logic that I was talking about. I did this offline this week, which I think is for the better of all of us. So if I just do this on like the page 1, will it be happy? Is it that I'm not getting to the region correctly? No, so it can't see the anonymous thing. But list item is correct. Surely. This whole, the drama thing, we have been going for a while. Ugh. Yeah, so list item is a real thing. Unordered lists are my bread and butter, so why can't you find this? What's the deal? Can you find any list items? Okay, so I can find 2 elements here, but if I say, the moment I say this, that doesn't make sense. So just to read you out what doesn't make sense. Here it's like, I found 2 things. Anonymous you, which you can get by text with anonymous you, and this one. And when I say find it with this name, it's like I didn't find anything, mate. I don't know what you're talking about. And it does say that by default, this is case insensitive. So is it line? Oh. Tailwind for SvelteKit, great. I'm very happy that I made the transition to use the Tailwind config. So the Tailwind CSS config changed my life instead of the JavaScript. So this should pass up to there. Sure. And if I do it here, it should also pass. And maybe we can do like a expect. To have text. So is this? Is it the anonymous thing? Is it any other thing? It could have worked. But anonymous is like an edge case. It makes this locator resolved to Lee. So list item within list item. What did it actually say? Yeah, so for this one, it's also thinking that oh, it is correct. Just bigger than expected. Okay. So this is a bit silly. I'll try one more time, just because of this craziness of the exact matching. Like I'll do 2 more tries like this, which fails. Exact, true. It also fails. Okay. Anyway, not that important. Now it passes. And then what do we want? The second player, we want second an option? No. So the first one should just be anonymous, which we know is exact, so it should pass. Well, the second one, and I guess we don't need to do it twice. Just find this and expect it has this text. So find this and expect to have this text, while the second one, the nth, starts at 0, nth 1. Mikey, it happens, just using console log, it's fair enough. But LLMs can't use console log as rapidly, so even with a playwright MCP, they can read the console logs, but this will be faster for them to implement. I think, let's see. So for the first player, they should be just anonymous. And on the second one, it should be their name. So this one should actually be anonymous. You. This is like too confusing. But we can even check back on the first page. Say that now we do have the other guy. Some comments here would be helpful. And then so this has updated correctly. And then we can start the game. And we could even check that even for the second player. AI-assisted coding is the new addiction. It makes me think that, can it help me with video games? Of course, not for generative art, because we know this is stealing from people. And you'll just never have like the... There is no validation gate with generated art. So even outside the ethics, the result just is not going to be good. Like, find your friend, find someone on Fiverr, pay them, and they'll make something better for you, for your art. But with LLMs, there are many things where you can have the validation gate be pass this test and keep trying until you pass it. And therefore, will produce a good enough result. While with generative AI, you can't just say, keep trying until it's good. I find that it just makes it worse and worse. And of course, this is just code. If it finds code that I've done on the internet, like I've heard that it's used some of my code sometimes, who cares? It's not that creative. And SQL transactions is a perfect case where it will always be better than me. Regex as well, as we've seen, like it will be faster than me to write the regex. But yeah, so we have these specs, and we should be getting, like, I guess this would be passing. I think, let's see. If I comment out these guys quickly, I think they're passing. So, good. Let's see what the LLM is going to do now. Let's say Svelte task. Nope. Gratefully. The game board. state management thingy. State. And the game room, which also have some funky SQL to work with durable objects. So this should be easy. So this should be very easy because I've already set up the game state. So in the game state, we should have everything we'd ever need. Let's see. I have been thinking that if I have the time in the future, I will be making more edited short videos instead of these huge live streams as well. Because now with LLMs, maybe it's not that interesting to see me like type things out. If you want to see me type things out, then you can join the live stream and then see how it works. But maybe in the videos I can just present the concepts like, oh, here is XState, here's the diagram, then we can do this, use it here, 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 without taking the time to do like a big edit of here's me typing its particular thing. More of a concept thing, because if you understand the concept, maybe you'll be able to write it yourself with the help of LLMs. So now with the autofixer, like immediately it's like it doesn't know how to key things, but with the autofixer, it is able to do it. Oh, easy, it's not overstyling, perfect. It's leaving the overstyling to me. So Mikey says, you have Cloud Code with your company as well as Cursor, and Mikey finds Cursor much friendlier. Should you switch or use Cloud Code too? It depends, as always. I love saying as a principal software engineer, people pay me the big bucks to tell them it depends, but then justify it. And I don't like Cloud that much because when I'm in the editor, when I am doing the code, I don't want too many pop-ups that are like, oh, you know, paste this text here, go there. I find both VS Code and Cursor are similar when it comes to working with agents, in that you need to pick the Anthropic models anyway. You need to pick Claude Opus anyway, or the new Sonnet 4.5 for it to be any good. And still, it's not as good as when you're doing it on the editor, on the CLI. So not, for me, I find this is more fun. I go to the CLI and like I paste like a big thing and then have it do the stuff. Well, doing it in like the chat, this. I know that Cursor is better than VS Code, supposedly, with the chat functionality. But I don't know, I just don't like it as much. It's just preference. GLM 4.6. Cloud is too expensive. So the problem with these tools as well is that they're made to like burn the tokens and make you pay more money as well. So they have like the mission to help people build apps and help them to code and whatnot. But they also have the mission make the company money. So sometimes you're wondering, are they just doing things to burn more tokens? There is this, like a lot of things that we've seen in the previous episodes is about like context engineering and prompt engineering and do this to create the PRD and then I don't know. I think all this boilerplate is just a bit too much. But in regards to the pricing, code itself, I don't know, but I do find the Anthropic models are better with code. But the biggest thing is the MCP servers. So if you have the Svelte MCP server, for example, if you have the Playwright MCP server and you can say, keep trying until the autofixer has no issues, keep trying until the test pass, I think that's the critical thing there. And GPT-5, I found it's really bad. They're optimizing for something else. I have tried SvelteKit. So a previous live stream, Varuna asks, what do you think about SvelteKits like OpenSpec or GitHub SvelteKit? I did try it for a few projects. I did try it quite a lot. I do think it's more made for maybe product managers that aren't that familiar with code. So it makes them feel like, oh, they're doing like more stuff because you're ironing out like a concrete spec. But having the big spec is also taking a lot of place in your context as well. And we don't have that much context to work with. So creating all of these things, the PRDs, here's the thing, they have files where they say, all right, you'll go to this file, you'll paste this code. I think that's too much. What I have found really, which may not be the best solution, is just to go inline into VS Code, write the big prompt myself, one prompt that says, read fully this file, this file, this file, that are not files that I've created just for Cloud Code. They are files that I've created for that have example implementations. Like I want you to do auth based on this, based on how we did auth for Google, create another one for GitHub. Based on how we've done the state management here, implement there. So I haven't found it that helpful. That said, like that sort of approach where this is my problem, create a file that has like an overview of things, can be helpful once in a while, but I don't think in a new project I would ever put SvelteKit or OpenSpec or anything like that in it. Like I would do it like on demand. Oh, I want to investigate this issue like I've done for this thing. Should I use Cloudflare? What would be the cost analysis if we were to use Cloudflare here? Write a document about this. Write a document about how it would be if we did event sourcing. Maybe I would write a document of how we'd accomplish the same thing with Supabase. What are the costs? I would write the big files for specific use case. I wouldn't want my code base to completely be spec driven in that sort, because I think it generates like too many files that I won't be reading, and that's too much. I need to be doing things myself. It's a very interesting question. I'll need to think about it and have a better answer, more concrete, less rambly answer at some point. So it claims it did everything. Let's see what it did. This may be its easiest task of the day, so I'd be very disappointed if it didn't manage to do it. Just, 4 lines of code. Fix reactivity by doing this. Great. Let's see. Should I have told it don't go overboard and implement a million features? We can see that we're in here. We don't see the connected players, so I don't know how it thinks it accomplished this. Wait a minute. Did it fix reactivity? By what? Ugh, it introduced more state. My God. Tried too hard. All I wanted it to do is this. You will always have game state, mate. Fixed reactivity by breaking everything. So we definitely do not want two states. We have the actor, we can do anything we want. Are the tests passing? Maybe if it's like a new room, then they would pass. Maybe, so it kind of works. Should I explain to it? We want to be keeping as the least amount of state possible. Why does it want a separate snapshot? Does it think it's like a heavy operation? Let's try to justify it. This does nothing. What are your thoughts on SvelteKit? I know that it's super popular. I'm sure that it's even more popular than the last time I've seen it. 48k stars. Super enthusiastic. Let's see what's the latest one. I'm on my streaming account, so I have ads, so we won't see it today. Hey, what's the other one? Like, nope. Go mad. Anyway, there's a few of those frameworks. I've heard that I think it's called Go Mad, but that one anthropomorphizes the LLMs a bit too much. It's like, oh, now you talk to the designer, and you can have the designer be named John, and you can have the engineer be named Elena. And it's important to know that the LLMs are not humans. Even if you have a prompt that says, oh, you're an expert designer, it doesn't mean that they're gonna give you accurate advice. My message says something. We will. Thank you, please. Yeah. Does it help? Maybe. Maybe it helps the LLM find. So Mikey says, I always had thank you at the end on the prompt. Maybe it helps the LLM find like kinder engineers, kinder code for you. Maybe it has something. But even with even myself, who says we shouldn't anthropomorphize LLMs. I'm Greek, I should be able to say anthropomorphize or something like that. Anyway, even I do talk to the LLM. I will sometimes tell it, I told you so, I told you not to do this, I told you that to go, or good solution, good job, you did it, or you can do it. So sometimes I do it, it's fun. What can we say? Humans can't help but do this. But having the framework principle be, you have the agents are behave like humans, and I think that's a bit much. I think that helps you lose the context yourself. While this happens, still on the lobby. Wow. Well, hopefully it's going to be one of those things where the initial setup is a bit much. Nice. Sovereign says, used open specs for a broken link checker project with Crowley and Playwright. Just deployed it yesterday with Docker. How did it go? Sounds like a fun project. It's sometimes I look at Cloudflare things. Back in the day, maybe 2-3 years ago, I did a live stream where I was trying to make like a browser screenshot project with Playwright, but to deploy it on things like Vercel was too tricky because Playwright itself was too big of an image to execute in that context. Deploying it on Docker somewhere else would have been much more viable, like in Fly.io or somewhere like that. Where did you deploy? That's a good question. But nowadays, Cloudflare also has this browser rendering thing, which I haven't tried, but I was thinking that maybe it's an easier solution for something like this, where you want to take browser screenshots or you want to visit a URL like a browser and see if it's broken or not, without having to do other things yourself. But I haven't tried it. So, and if I hadn't known about it, which last month I didn't know about it, I would go about it the same way that you did. Virtual private server. Nice. So now it's saying I should know that template still has guards. Yes, remove. I should know that, you know, there is this silly code there. Like, you added the silly code. Come on. GitHub CI/CD. Yeah, we use GitHub here as well. GitHub Actions, I think it's been at least 2 years that I've switched to them. I've used quite many, like, you know, from Jenkins to Circle CI, which was a fancier one. But I think for most people and most companies, people just do things in GitHub Actions nowadays. It's really nice. Very nice product. And freeform. So Varun says, I'm originally a PHP developer. Has some experience with React. Didn't like React purely because of Redux back in the day. So you may be surprised to hear I was a PHP developer like 20 years ago, and quickly decided that I want to be closer to like the user and the user interactivity and the user actions as well. So I started going heavier into JavaScript and frameworks like Backbone and Angular first, a lot of Angular, then React because it was at least better than Angular. Redux was really good, but then it was everywhere and people were using it without needing to use it, without knowing how to use it, and became quite bad. So not Redux itself, but the way people were using Redux was too much. And eventually, the past couple of years, more and more Svelte. The way Svelte does things like state management, the way it looks more like HTML, more respect for standard things instead of things just made up for the framework. I've been really enjoying it, so I'm trying to do as much Svelte as possible. But hey, React has its place. Like the SAT-CN had a huge thing with the directory. We do take jabs at React nowadays, but React, lots of developers do React. That's not the SAT-CN you're looking for. Lots of code already in React. LLMs can write React. The SAT-CN directory was out, and Vercel has this project where people at work or startup founders will want you to make something like this, like a ChatGPT clone, and they have the components there. You just copy the components and you're there. Here you go. Simple prompts. So not ideal, but there's a lot of code that you can reuse with React. So it looks like this, which is crazy. But there is a lot of code you can reuse with React at the very least. Anyway, and less reliance to React nowadays. Okay, so let's see what the LLM cooked here. If it indeed cooked. It didn't say I removed my own silly cards, but hey, that's fine. So if we try to reconnect to one after an update, feels like it's not quite working, but for another one, it's fine. Better UI for this at some point. Let's have what to do here. I do think we have like SAT-CN items here. Let's see. Items. We can just show this, like people won't have avatars, but maybe it's fine. But yeah, I will not. I will resist. Let's move on with our lives. Let's see if this actually works. So the hero use case. Play, copy, incognito. Go to localhost, play. I'm pasting the code from my friend. This should have worked, but it didn't quite. I don't know why. So let's go here, here. Both of them are here. This one hasn't updated. If I refresh, it updates. So yeah, we are losing something with the snapshots, but we'll figure it out. And if we press start, we do make it there. If someone presses the button, we do make it there. We do send the start game button. We should only be doing this if we have enough players. And what? We're doing we are probably receiving messages from the server, but did it add this? I think this should have made it so it would be applying it to the local state. So let's try our unfortunate console debugging. We're here. Blonk. We receive a player ready, but we already missed this. On a new one. Player joined, player ready. This is ourselves. Where are we getting a player ready? And then we get this, but this state does not update. So we get this event, but the state does not update. Is it because we're sending this event, but the snapshot doesn't get updated? Was the LLM right that we do need a separate thing? I guess so. So 1. We send it the start. Anymore? But probably not, because if you're unready, you can just get out of there, I guess. 2. Looks like you're right. The snapshot does not update derived like that. As well does not know. Angular was super fun in the day, 20 years ago. You could even do like the web apps, which I guess, again, it's the type of thing. Like we were making all these very unfortunate like web views of web apps, but you know, it got you going. It's unfortunate 20 years later, we still have the same of quality of apps floating the App Store. Back in the day, it was cool. Right, so what does it need to do current actor? React and Meteor, that's super cool. Meteor became something else nowadays, didn't it? Svelte ruined. I did not know this. My problem is that I want this to run on the server as well, so I wanted something like XState that does work cross-platform, so not just for React. Can you use this on the backend? Guess not. Embrace the magic of runes. I'm also quite suspicious of libraries that are wrapping like Svelte functionality, because then they need to be maintained and react to Svelte changes. Not sure. If you found it useful, then it must have value. That's just the Svelte API with a different thing. Because you can subscribe to, you can still have stores with Svelte. Like, why would I need like a separate API? I guess it says snapshots here, so that's similar. Okay, so whoa. Yeah, what happened? Ah, I see. So why doesn't actor snapshot exist from the beginning? You just need to do this, right? Sorted. Ah, I see. That's why. Whoops. Yeah, I don't want it to be derived. Can I... What else can I do here? Else. Right. The update. Okay, we're cooking. Good. We made it to the lobby. I think the tests will be passing. Will not be at the meeting to the LLM that we did need the guards after all. Whoops. I hope this cleans things up. It keeps a reference to the current actor in order to stop it at the end. That makes sense. Okay. So I think we're good. It's on the spec. Bugs, none. We have some. Meteor is Meteor.js still. It must have been something else before. It's the reactive one. Yes, let's see. Okay. Focus. Stay on task, Johnny. And the task is, the category is dance y muerte. So it just took us like a bit over an hour for this. We can go from the play into a lobby and start the game. And I guess we do see the random thresholds here. Nope. Here. We do see the min and max thresholds are set. The first card is dealt. It's just that we don't see it. So let's look at the to-dos. I don't remember what this to-do was about. Ah, no, we still want to do one more thing. This is in the lobby. Only this should be only enabled if we can start the game. Which I guess I can try to extract into a lobby component. And we don't want to do all of these crazy things. All we want is these two guys. And this will get given the game state. I think. Yeah, but the game state is not a string by any means. The game state is a min-max, min or max context. What's this? Bring it in. And we don't want any of these. Easy to use. Right. We can also give the player, I guess. Get the player out. And now it maybe takes like a handle game start. Because I guess I could derive that enough players ready are enough players ready. That's not how you do derived. You can do derived by like this. Just a filter and a length, I guess. Sure. And this will be disabled if there are not enough players ready. And let's try to use it here. Bring in the lobby, pass the game state, handle game start. There you go. You can see it's disabled. We could have a playwright test for this. Now it's enabled, but this doesn't update. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What happened there? So this should be derived by this. Let's just double check. Not enough. Enough. Okay, so this derived by... Was I not returning a value? I think I wasn't returning a value in the end. No, it was returning a value. Oh well, looks reactive enough to me. Now, let's clean up all these things. Let's run our formatting sanity check. Great. So now our improved game board. Good. So actual players in lobby and start game. All right, so under 2 hours in, how does the game board get set up? Our server when we get the start game, what happens? Right, when we enter the setup phase, which we do when we do the start game thing, then the server will do the shuffling, the dealing, the setting of the thresholds, the spinning the initial wheel with like some force, and play the first card, and then send all of these events. And also, it sends a snapshot of the state. Should have a look at this, because for optimistic updates, we are using our own local state machine and to update it immediately, and also getting the events from the server to update it immediately. But every so often, every end of turn or every phase change, we actually get a state snapshot, which overrides the state that we have. Like we stop the local state management, we overwrite it with the new one from what the server has said, and then we restart it and resubscribe and blah blah blah. This is to account for like glitches, like bad network connections, or maybe someone was malicious and tried to send some events that they didn't want to do, change like history or something like that. So helps us be in sync, and we only do it once per turn or phase change. So that should be fine. We'll see how this plays out. I think the optimistic updates will allow us to do animations and transitions much better. We could also just be getting the server essentially every time they send a snapshot, they are telling us this is what's ever happened and what's the case now, which is fine, but it would be trickier to know that, oh, what just happened was I played a card, so I want to play a card animation or the wheel animation. So that's why we don't always use the snapshots and we're still trying to apply the local state. Although this is one of the things that I was going back and forth with this week, like which way I should go. At the moment, I like this one best, where we do have the client applying its own state optimistically, but synchronizing not every time, but every so often with the server as well. So what happens when we go to the setup state? The pile gets shuffled, cards are dealt, threshold set. Sounds like a song. Wheel is spun and the first card gets played. But none of our UI is actually reflecting this besides the thresholds. Well, I guess a lot of things are. So this game state, we must have the wheel angle here. Should I ask the LLM for the fun of it? Somewhere to say, like, design a fun wheel component. What will it make? What will it make? And the wheel should have something interesting. To say as well. So it's just a button, but should I ask them, can you do like some cool UI for this? Probably not. When is it disabled? We should update this in order. Can I put this here? No. So actual angle, we did this. And we still need to only enable it if it's my turn and I can spin the wheel. I haven't. And actually spin the wheel. Here we need to show the top discard card. So here we need to do like put a game card. That's not the real thing. But discard pile at length -1. Wait a minute. Can derive this, I suppose. And it is going to be a played card. So it knows this. So we can say if all right, so what's the problem here? The played card has the card nested in it. So it's here. All right, so we can see the top played card. Great. But I need an accessible way for this to happen so I can test. And we need like a seeding logic, I guess, to know which one is there. How long will that test be? So what do we see here? 7 of spades. We have an image. This is a picture element. It may not be a picture in the end. So what I'm thinking is that we can start the game great. We can see the tally, and the tally is going to be something. If we have a seed, then maybe the tally is going to be like the same in every time, so we can double check. But like, can I see the top discard card? No test IDs. Just second player 1. Get by roll image, but it may not be an image at some point. So what is it gonna be? What is it gonna be? We found, I do like the 7 of spades thing. I guess now it's an image, so we could do it. But this test room is always a different one. But we can give it a different seed. Great. So if we give it the seed multiplayer E2E, which card do we see? And is it gonna be the same every time? Oh. Seeding didn't quite work. Interesting, so that's something to debug. For the WebSockets, what do we do to make the WebSocket connection? We have the seed here, and we add it to the search params as seed, but something must be happening on the backend. Bad request, it says. Right, we can recreate. We can say in order to ensure we know what cards are dealt, in theory, we've implemented this. Go into a URL like and I'd say, I think we're sending this correctly to the server. So it must be the game room. So it's just failing with mad request. Have we missed the seed parameter? Clearly it's doing something different when we use the seed, so we must be passing it there. So I don't think that's the problem. Oh. Okay, I refactored for people to not be able to signal that they're ready, they start us ready, and maybe I should just remove this. If you are not ready, just close the tab and go to a different room. Don't be like, wait a minute. And this is essential to have a good test for this. As we've seen, having a good test, reproducible test, would allow us to have the LLM think for us. And maybe just the first player can get into it, can specify the seed. The other thing I would do is just have a page that shows all the cards. But hey. All right, so does it break? Nope. The problem is that it didn't try the test again. If false, okay, so the other problem is that at some point we're taking for the 7 of spades, which is unfortunate. I'll just remove this for now. Will we make it plain a card? Feels so close, and yet so far. The other thing with Cloud Code is that this back and forth is making me work more. So I do think for many things, it'd be faster for me to do them myself. But I wouldn't have done them because at some point I would do like, I would reach a point and then call it a day. But giving the prompts to the LLM and then working with it, I don't know, it tricks my brain, like seeing the checkboxes and all of that. It makes me work more, I suppose. So it's making me less productive, but also makes me work more. I don't know if that's good or not, but hey. Test room debug. These following instructions. Tell me what you're thinking, mate. What? So I had a brilliant solution of how to create a WebSocket URL. It can just take a URL here. Is it claiming that this wasn't here before? All right. So I swear I refactored this beautiful solution at some point, but then it removed this. Oh well. What's done is done. And if there is a seed, we add it into the search params. Great, we don't need to do toString or anything crazy. Like it tried, beautiful. This, let's put it back in. And now the fun stuff. With the seed, we should always get the same discard card, which is the 6 of clubs. So let's see, if the seeding is correct, we should get the 6 of clubs again, which I think would be quite neat. And it passes. So, you know, if this was Twitch, I would clip this because this is awesome. 3 milliseconds to test this. But, like at some point, if we are using Threadle, we will need a different selector to confirm this. And of course, we want this to be within the discard pile region, I guess. Yeah. So, let's make that happen. What is this? What do we call it? We could have all the cards there, like stacked nicely. And the top one. So yeah, maybe another unordered list. Oh no, we know how well that went. Let's say don't use this. No. We could say what? We'll use the top discard card for other calculations. So we know that this means that we have a discard pile. And we can actually key this by a card ID, because these are unique. And each one will be like this. And that should still work, but I want to find the discard pile. So this should still work. Beautiful. But I want to see discard pile. Yeah, exactly. Discard pile. And then I want to see it there. Nope. So what's the problem? I think one of the problems is that it's going to be the wrong way around. It's finding the region, great, but it's not finding the image, which is it is in there. So what's the deal with regions and not finding the stuff? I don't get it. It's not, is it a region? It's not a region, it's a list. It's a list. Regions we had before. Okay, we did it. It's a list and this is a list item. And I guess we'd need to render them the other way around. Because like the top of the discard. Anyway, when we deal a card, we'll make it happen. So visually it looks nice. Okay, not the best visual in the world, but it's something. Oh, and for everyone, we're gonna be showing the top discard card. Come on. Come on, Johnny. Don't be silly. Right, so let's say if it has length. Yeah, we don't even need to know what the discard card is at this point. And here we will want some UI for every time we save, we cannot reuse the same room because it reloads. Oh well. UI for this. Okay, so my hand again. Trigger one starts with 4 cards, let's say. And let's say await expect these items to have 4 cards. Perfect. So if we do this, it fails. We're doing TDD now, baby. And here not a real thing. Who are you? I guess you are one of the players. How do I know my index? Is this an array? We can derive this probably. Let my player Oh, is this key to the player ID? No. Just an array. Just an array, mate. Maybe it should be a map. Find. Yeah. So we can just one-line it if we do this and this. And we can just call this my player and my enemies. So my player, who are you? Do you have a hand? Yes. All right. So I think this will work. That's for you. Maybe this region. Should this be a region? Where is the enemies cards? Who knows? But the test should pass now. Let's see. Yes, it does. And we could even, like, let's see it with our eyeballs as well. How does it look? There you go. We're cooking. Maybe we do need the U again. That's you. since almost everyone will be anonymous. Let's keep it. Right. So that's good. We could we could check that every card is what we expect as well, but doesn't really matter. We would play one turn, one card from this, but let's show the enemy UI. Anyone wants to guess how we're gonna do this? Probably should have had a chapter here. Hand UI. Own players and rivals hand UI. So how are we going to do this? I think we'll do the derived thing. We can do the same thing and then just filter for the ones we are not. And I guess that would be 2 loops of like 3 items, which may be fine. Opponents. I've forgotten how to spell. Filter, where the ID is not the player ID. So that's the easy way to do it. You could do a reduce as well and just do the loop once. Let's call it hero. Why not? Hero villains. Common in poker. And no, we want team state players. Reduce. And we want to reduce to start with an empty object, and we want to say the accumulator is this, the player is this, and if player ID, let's call it just P here. Equals our player ID, then the accumulator hero is this guy, and then null and villains is this. But I guess we should type this better. The hero is a player. And the villains is a player array. And if we remember to return the accumulator, then everyone should be happy. Almost everyone. If I don't type the reduce, it's not happy. All right. Or undefined. What? Or this. Okay, looks kind of crazy, but I get it. I guess, you know, some people would be like, the performance optimization of doing this in an array that's maximum 4 elements, it's not worth it versus the readability of this. What do you think? But this makes you look cooler, I think. I think that's the key insight here. So, right, so the hero is this guy. call it hero hand. And what we want are the villains as well. Do the test, still pass. Yes. And what we want is here villain 1. So this would fail. There is no villain. But like in every good fairy tale, this should be a villain. And I guess we'd put it somewhere around here. But also, we wouldn't want to be able to see the villain's cards. Probably not. So for each villain, we're gonna do this. Its villains as villain don't go crazy. Just autocomplete the little things, not all the code. Can you do that? I think not. So I need to type. Oh, God. I guess we just want the hand. The idea in the hand. And this will be villain. Yeah, so I think this will work. Maybe not. They have 4 cards. What? What? Oh, they are what? They are on. So they're taking page. We did it correctly, but for them, the villain is the hero who has 4 cards. So I shouldn't have refactored this. Actually, this should be villain handwritten 1 on page 1, like this. Of course, from their side, I am the villain and I have 4 cards. So that's kind of fun. That is pretty fun. Just to show it IRL. Come on. Room 1. So we can see the villain cards, indeed, which we don't want. I don't think. So we need to have a way to show the card backs. So maybe we'll do it like this. We have this great UI, amazing. From this person's perspective, the hero has 3 cards, the villain has 4. From this person's perspective, the hero has 4 cards, the villain has 3, but we shouldn't be able to see the opponent's cards. So we need to extend our card logic. You can see it and inspect the DOM, I guess, but hey. Let's take an optional hidden boolean. And if you're hidden, we have the card back here, so maybe that's it. And we could have a different thing. We could be saying, you know, who knows what the cards they have. Yeah, let's do it like that. I think that's more fun. So the source will actually be, maybe it's constant. We can do it in line. And we could check for this, I believe. But then we are like in the naming situation that has burned us in the past. But yeah, image name, and the name should be whatever we decided. So all 3 should be this, but this should fail, definitely. And the moment I say that it should be hidden true, then we should pass. Yeah, and indeed, if we retry, card backs for the villains, regular cards for us. Awesome. Isn't that fun? Good. What else do we want in the game board? Playing a card, important. So let's review what we've done. And we can move on to playing a card. And we need something blinking. So when clicking on a card, we should be able to play it. But yeah, I think we can save this. Progress, great progress. Can we already refactor? Nah. I'm thinking much like we have the lobby, should we make all of this be like its own component? Too complicated for now. We fixed the seeding, which is awesome. Yeah, we'll need to play this game at some point and see how it actually plays out. But now we are at the I can play a card. So yeah, let's actually do it now. Let's see. Not to you, start. Up. That's a bit dodgy, maybe with the seeding there was a problem there. But we see 6 of clubs, we know it's on max, so we can play 10 and a jack. Jack will have a special effect, so really the only thing we can play is the 10 of spades. Queen will also have a special effect, so hopefully we land on min and we can do something else. Anyway. So we need a way for this to happen. And I worry if I don't use like the button logic. Just click it. So, wait. Wait, what? Player 100 in get by roll button name 10 of spades, click, then I expect the discard pile to be 10 of spades. Good. So now this will fail for a couple of reasons. One is the card is not a button. Which we can do, I suppose. Will it see it? The answer is no. How many buttons can it see? It's not going to tell us? Guess not. Wait, expect. I think if we do this, then we'll get a better error message. I think Playwright will tell us. The buttons I can see in the page are these. How do you like these buttons? But no, just made it up. If I name this button like just a quick aria label, how does it define the alt? Ugh. It's to quickly see if that's gonna work. Is it a 10 of spades? Kind of interesting. So this is a 10 of spades, surely, right? Not inside the button, famously. What? Wait, what? I was putting it in the discard pile. Oh, Johnny. You fool of a took. If Playwright did give me the nice debugging, I would be able to see this faster. So it managed to click it. Great. So let's just do this inline again. And the problem is that this guy is still on top. Is not on top, the previous one is still on top, because clicking does nothing. Good. Test set. Now, read fully. And Opa, no, no. Why did it auto-send this? It will also compact mid-conversation, which is Crazy. And probably this should be like a... I'm also saying run a test, so let's see. Will it try to autofix? So we're close to the end of the stream, hitting almost 3 hours. Has it been fun? Hopefully I will have a good amount of progress over the evenings this week. And then next weekend we can do the Throttle stuff. The game works, but we can do things like this. So we can have like a 2D surface and we just paint the decals, the cards on top of them. And that's it. And a cool 3D card. We could also use 2D as well. I know that it has like a sprite and animation system. Well, no need to make Vampire Survivors. Happier sprites, animated sprites. So we could do 2D stuff. Pretty nice. But we could also do 3D stuff. Who knows? Wow, it's a blender monkey. .3D space, but the cards are 2D. Could also work. We will definitely need to do something so we know what we're hovering at. And this is exactly what we want. Because we want pointer event, we're pointing to the card, make it bigger, click, something happens. So it claims, it thinks it's done something. Too many URLs. This start game not happening every time. It's a bit worrying, isn't it? But yeah, press this. I don't actually play the card. So what's up? What did it try to do? Do I have to do the choose and play events by myself? Is it true? Are these real events? So from the play state, we are in awaiting action, choose cards, set chosen cards. Makes sense. And the one we've chosen doesn't have an effect, so we should get straight to this. But this should get automatically played, right? But it's waiting for the server to do this, I suppose. Okay, wait, stop. Ah, interesting. Ah, we can't play the 10. We cannot play the 10. So I can see that we're on max mode, which I guess like the UI should be a bit clearer. That you're trying to beat this 4, 6. You're trying to beat the 6, but and therefore 10 should work, 2 should not work, but it's the opposite. And the other thing that I would want to fix would be use my cool stack layout thing and order the cards, I guess, on top of each other. Could be fun. And each one is transformed a bit smaller, but you can't see them. So maybe that's not what we want. Maybe rotate it a little bit, random rotation. Yeah, that'd be fun. So is the mode correct? So maybe the mode is not correct, actually. That's the problem. We're not actually using the top discard card, so that's a unrelated bug. It's being a bit crazy. So why would that be incorrect? So it's on lots of crazy things here, by the way. The angle should be deriving these things. So Ugh. Game state wheel angle. It's a number. Feels like it's correct. The wheel. Derive mode from angle. If it's less than 180, it's min, or else it's max. But I guess, yeah, we don't know how much it is. It must be more than 180, so it's on top. So the angle is derived by this. You wrote this, I'm not sure if that's correct. So we could have done this faster, but there was a little bug here. Alright, so let's see what crazy things it did. It did find a bug. Get card value. We have a common method for this one in that repository I showed. And then it has like this crazy can't play card thing, which is indeed insane. Why did it type it like this? And then it added these messages, which are fair enough. Okay, so what don't I like about this method? This is definitely like a card. And then it takes a card, then decides based on the game state, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't feel correct. It feels like we need a utility for this too. Which surely we have somewhere. Surely we have something here. Have the can beat top card. And it's doing like a lots of crazy logic, which we can reuse. So yeah, I think we'll do a similar thing. Do a similar thing, spin the wheel, and the turn, call it a day. Heroes Plus, can we do it in under 4 hours? You don't need to uppercase it, mate. So the mode shows min, and we can play the 4 card. Great. And maybe we can spin the wheel or whatever. Maybe we should spin the wheel before. Play a different card. Good. And also maybe we should only show the... no, I wanted to do something cool with the random... some random rotation. So the discard pile is here. Yes. Class could be stack layout. And this would mean I'm sure they're still index fighting. So maybe this. They won't know the index. Oh well. Just wait in line for now. Should be the other way around, I guess. So actually, it should be something like this. Good. And I want to rotate this according to the index. Rotate how? these. I want to multiply this by, is it odd or even? Let's see how this looks. Not quite. Right, something for another time. And I guess like this should be like a CSS variable, right? But, I'll do it some other time. Cool. What do you do? Single helper function. Great. Comprehensive tests. Okay, not too bad. And what else do I want to do? I wanted to tell it, instead of having our own weird just for Mikey. I'll say, great job. Some positive reinforcement here. And the game card, I suppose, since we have some time to do some styling. And should we add it here? Unclear. So maybe the game board. It's this discard pile that I'm thinking long and hard about. Discard pile, svelte. This. And it just takes a discard pile, doesn't it? Copy everything. It's gonna be so big. Delete all the templating, surely. And from the script, just get this, but what we want. So this could be a generic pile, actually. Pile of anything. Could be the draw pile. Oh, but maybe the draw pile doesn't have this unruliness. So it's pile length, blah, blah, blah. Most of these things don't need. And we can use the discard pile here. And then it's clear for me if I am in this card file. And in here, I'm thinking that maybe we have like some weird styles where we specify that there is a rotation or something. Then we give it the index and it does like all these crazy things. And Z index will also be, will we have more than 100 cards? No, because it's like 52. So great. No way that's gonna fight with anything else like the header. It's fine. Games are meant to have bugs. So in here, it's SvelteKit style. So how do we give it the index? There is a way to do this with SvelteKit. Svelte even. Custom properties. Like this. Wait a minute. Is it only on components we can do this? Not in elements? That's a bit unfortunate. So here, if I pass like index here, is it gonna be happy? Ah, I see. Right, so will this actually work? Max mode 8. Oh, cute. That looks nice. Not exactly what my vision was. But that's something to change at some other point. So the index given affects this. We subtract 2 for some reason. Right, so it should be like index, like this, and then times index modulo 2. So it has like a swinging effect. Is that order of operations correct? So they keep swinging. this doing? Updated this card by updated the machine with this candy top card, chosen card, top card, and the wheel angle. Great. Do we need all of these things? Yes. Created this file. Great. Created more tests. Beautiful. Game board. Top discard card. Do we actually use it? Yes, we do use it here. Is this a problem? Yes, yes. It's no game state. You can play any card. No. And what's happening there? So is this automatically reactive because these things change? Suppose. I hope. But it looks like it works. All right. So why are we uppercasing? Okay, so I've eagle-eyed this silliness. Great. We fixed the seeding and we fixed the plane of the cards. Let's spin the wheel. So now, ideally we need a seed that makes the wheel be a different mode. But hey. The wheel is a button. Let's let's make it spin. But how? Spin the wheel. Let's just call it spin the wheel. And we'll figure it out later. You can click this. Maybe not. Can't imagine why. That's interesting. Oh, looking into the hero's hand testing page. Okay, game board. So if we're lucky, we will already have a seed that actually makes the wheel be change modes. So we are on min, and we go to max. Maybe we can find a force. So in theory, the longer you click the button or whatever we do, like the ankle, you do the flick. Maybe you can grab a handle and then spin it. So you can affect with how much force you spin it. And according to the force, then you have a different range of what type of angle it's gonna land in, how many rotations it's gonna do. So if we tweak with the force enough, we could make it land on min. So I think it's a matter of tweaking how much force we turn it with. But maybe we'll just finish in this because we are going to be hitting 3 hours and a half. And it looks like we will need some time still. I think we did this kind of quick. And yeah, what's left then is you can click the button to end your turn, and then the villain, it's the villain's turn now. Should probably specify that this test is slow. So we're going through the whole game. But yeah, this is for ending the turn, like the final to do for what we were supposed to cover today. Spinning the wheels shouldn't be too crazy. Too bad that the visuals aren't anything amazing. But hey. So, I do have like my array of events in here. Is it here? So we just sent the spin wheel event, really, and that will spin the wheel. Should I just do it? I guess. How would Playwright be able to divine the force? Does it have Playwright? Playwright keep clicking. Does it have Playwright click and hold? Ugh, wait for timeout. Maybe 3 milliseconds is not enough. Maybe not. Oh, there you go. Delay. Click with a delay. So that's how we'll do it. So did it figure it out? Since the spin wheel, the force is 0.5, we want this to do so those is 0.5 the magic number. Oh, interesting. Looks like I've broken something. Let's try again. Play the 4, so we can spin the wheel, we can see that. Play the 4, doesn't appear. I guess I've put it underneath somehow. My Z index thingy. Yeah, anyway, we'll fix that. And then we click and break. Whoops. RNC next int is not a function. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That feels improbable. It's worked so far. We have tends to say that it is a function actually. The linter added a helpful to do comment. It's not the linter, I added this. As if the linter would be like, ah. Right. So we have this. What was the problem? That we press spin the wheel and the RNC flips out. Spin card. The other problem was that the Z index is 100 minus the index. And that's not exactly what we want. We don't want this for every card. So yeah, I tried to make something nice, but messed it up. But yeah, it feels like lower the index. With this guy. Stack layout, we have the list items. I guess they are inside lists, so maybe it has something to do with the stacking. Context thingy. But yeah, let's try again the important thing about the spinning the wheel. Start the game. Play the 4. Spin. I think Mm. Are we not passing RNC? If only I had another test afterwards, it would know that something has broken. So we can't be calling this too many times. Must be here. Successfully called here. What is it actually doing? Ah, this is how we could we could have found who we are. Whoops. Maybe not. Yeah, so it's doing this here, sending this. Great. Oh, it's getting crazy. Deserialized as a plain object. So this RNC solution I was bragging about, I am trying to put it into XState in order to use it, but apparently serializing and deserializing it is not working as I expected. I could recreate it, but I don't want to write all of this code because it's crazy. Like spread the snapshot, spread the context, but specifically from the RNZ to something else. Should it be to JSON? Is it something that Stringify will automatically respect? So does it always return 0? That's not a fix. But it doesn't immediately send the state snapshot. So this one claims, all right, we fake it, it's 0 for a bit, then the server will say it wasn't a 0, you actually got like 52, and we'll fix it. But yeah, maybe we could do like request wheel spin or whatever. Feels like something I will need to think about offline as well. Other solutions would be have an event that's like request wheel spin. So for everything that has RNG, we need to wait for the server to tell us this is what happened. Which is fair enough. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave it today. Hope you had fun. And let me know what you'd like to see next. Indeed, I would like to play around. Let's go. Let's do like a proper outro. Yeah, we are spinning the wheel. Like we needed some hacks to do it, but that's fine. Let's do the final demo of what we've done today. And for that, I need to check timestamp. All right, today in this page that you can click by finding the link in the description, we've progressed on this game I'm making for MinnHax. MinnHax is a lovely community about games, friends, and getting better. And the podcast itself and this whole media empire that MinnHax is becoming is wonderful. I love every cast member. But the community is also wonderful, maybe even more so. And every year they've been organizing this MinnHax Game Jam. I participated last year, not that much time for me this year, but this week, like the theme clicked to me that maybe I can make like a Typescript game kind of quickly. And to keep it spicy, it's going to be multiplayer. So that's going to be fun to figure out and do. And that's what we've been doing today. A lot of test-driven development has been happening, which is always nice. We've managed to implement proper seeding technology. So every time if we have used the same seed, we get the same deal. which is important for testing because now we can tell our test suite that can I see a 6 as the top card? Yes. Then play the 4. Did we play the 4? Then it worked. So at the moment on the background, like this is doing like crazy solutions. So it's not quite working apparently, but it will. I'm sure it will. Like we have committed code that is correct. Almost 4 hours in. What did you expect? So it should be multiplayer. This should work a bit better for sure. Let's try it again. Let's try it without like seeding. Let's see if that makes a difference. Start. We need to refresh this a bit better. I'm sure it's an incognito window and it's out of focus. So maybe that's why it's not processing the event. Could be something like that, and not that we're not being defensive enough. We're on max. Can play 7. Not quite. So the code did something weird. But for the future, I would love to add some threadle, which is 3JS in Svelte, which has some cool 3D tech. This can be a card, can be the card face. We can play around with it. Also has sprite support essentially. So I think we can do something cool. But hopefully this will be after I figured out the game logic itself. After the game logic is figured out, I can do some things with the UI, and maybe after the jam is over, maybe I can even give it a bit of a rework to make it work with Godot or Unreal or whatever else. If you have any other suggestions for anything else you'd like to see, especially if it's gonna be about how to make this card game cool, let me know. But even if it's something completely different, something that I will want to do in the future is auto-RAG, auto-retrieval augmented generation, that Cloudflare is surprisingly good at, where you can just put in a document or like a collection of JSON files, like I've done with the Pokemon API for a Drawmon app, a different app that we're working on. And then you can just do AI vector-based search RAG with it. Or you can just use it just for the retrieval mechanism and then put the LLM of your choice, the model of your choice in front of you, including having a more trained model, and even train your models doing some human in the loop thing. So lots of keywords there that I'd like to have a look at, but first it's gonna be gaming. So thanks everyone for spending a bit of time with me. We tried to do a lot. We have even more to do here. Hope you had fun. I'm looking forward to sharing a version that you can actually play around with, and let me know if you like the rules, if this is a fun game. I think it's going to be a fun game. A simple game, classic game. You can play it with a deck of cards. I've played it many times. You just play a card and you call it. It's like, oh, go over or go under. 4, you busted. But with a bit of a spin to adhere to the theme. But yeah. Thanks everyone for spending a bit of time with me, especially the people keeping me extra special company in the chat. And I'll see you all next week. Have a good one. Until then, see you around.